Everybody ranks things, but nobody's ranked everything. And that's where I come in. This is Rank the World, where I'm going to rank everything on this planet, no matter how long it takes me. I had a baby last week. Well, I didn't. My wife did, but you know. Anyways, that means I've been off work for almost 2 weeks now on paternity leave, which also means I've been home with my 2-year-old and have watched so much Bluey. Don't get me wrong, it's a great show, and it's been her obsession for the last couple of months at least, but I've watched it all the way through more times than I'd like to admit. And even though it's a fantastic show, it had me thinking, is this the best show that she watches? It might be at the top of her totem pole right now, but is it at the top of mine? So I've compiled a list of every show, YouTube series, and movie that my toddler likes to watch to try to find out which ones I prefer. Not that it matters because during screen time, she's the one in control, but let's just pretend like my opinion on her favorite stuff mattered. Alright, so I've got a list here of all of my kids' favorite shows, movies, and YouTube series. I've got them broken down into categories. So first, we're going to start off with the TV shows that she loves. Starting off with a classic here, we got Sesame Street. Okay, so this is, of course, like the OG kids show. Everybody in the world knows Sesame Street. My kid's more of an Elmo fan than anything, but I figured I'd just count it as one thing. And what can I say? It's a classic. It's been on for what, 50, 60 years? There's episodes about almost any topic you can think of, so many celebrity guests, and so many classic songs. It's not really a go to in our house outside of the Elmo's World DVD we have, but there's a reason this show is a staple. I'm going to throw this on B for sure, I guess. Coming up next, we have a 90s staple, Blues Clues. This is the original Blues Clues with Steve and Joe. Weird side note, my kid's favorite host is Joe. Yeah, let that sink in. I loved Blues Clues as a kid, and I'm so glad my kid loves it too. Both Steve and Joe just do such a great job at communicating through the show in an engaging way for the kids. It's also really informative. Like, there's times where it feels like it jumps from preschool to like third grade with the variety of topics they try to teach the kids about. Rewatching this, I can see why I was so enamored with it. Is it the most entertaining thing to watch as an adult? No. But watching it with your kid and seeing them learning new things and solving mysteries with Steve and Joe is it's great. But I mean it's great. It's Blue's Clues. That's an S tier. Blue's Clues is S tier. I am always down for Blue's Clues. But now we've got the reboot, Blue's Clues and You. Reboots don't always work. In fact, I'd say they usually don't. But somehow the Blue's Clues team got away with it when they hired Josh as the host. The updated animation can be a little jarring going from the old episodes to this, but it still works really well. And Josh might be a bit more musical than the other two, but he's got the same amount of charisma and curiosity that makes kids want to follow along with him. Also, the movie that came out of the show has some genuinely really funny moments.
Oh, your turn, New York mailbox. No? Oh, okay. My friend Mailbox at home loves to sing. Maybe next time. Go!
And there's more than one episode where all three hosts are together, and that's really nice to see. It's good, it's enjoyable, but not as good as the original, I'd say. So I'm gonna put that right under an A tier. All right, next up we have a show I never heard of before my kid was born, and that is Super Kitties. I'd never heard about Super Kitties until we stumbled across it on Disney Plus one day, and a part of me wishes that we hadn't. It's kind of like Disney's answer to Paw Patrol. It's about a group of cats who fight bad guys and crime with superpowers. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it is kind of hard to get through. The theme song, kind of a banger.
There's chaos in the air. Don't you worry, don't despair.
The stories are pretty boring, and it's just really, it's not a great time. I'm going to throw that on C, for I would rather not. All right, now we have one that I'm very proud of that I got her to enjoy, and that is Bear in the Big Blue House. Bear in the Big Blue House is another one from my own childhood that I kind of pushed onto my kid, but she loves it, so it worked out. And this show is so good. It's wholesome. It has some of the best lessons out there for kids. Each episode tends to be about a certain subject or lesson, and Bear helping someone in the house learn about it. Also, this is one of the only kids shows I can think of that has an entire episode dedicated to using the bathroom. Not only that, but some of the songs slap.
What's in the mail today? What's in the mail today?
And that bear can sing. And that's not even mentioning the goodbye song with Luna at the end of every episode. This show just feels like a warm hug anytime we watch it, and it has one of the best bloopers of all time.
Yeah, this thing's a piece of shit. Let's go do something else.
Yeah, come on, Hobag, get me chicken pot pie.
Hey, you squeezy little mouse, go get it your sorry
Don't you
ass
talk
self.
back to me like that, bitch.
Get out of my way, you piece of shit.
Bear is S tier. Alright, now for the one that kicked off this video, Bluey. As much as I've watched Bluey recently, over and over, it is such a good show. If you're a parent, you know Bluey. And if you're not a parent, you still might know Bluey. It's an Australian kids show that airs on Disney about a family of dogs, and it's got to be one of the sweetest, funniest, and heart-wrenching kids shows out there. You never know if the episode you're watching is going to make you laugh, cry, or both. There's very little that even comes close to Bluey. Any parent out there will tell you Bluey is an S tier show. It deserves the praise that it gets. We've got another heavy hitter coming up next, and that is Paw Patrol. I was a little worried when I first had kids because I was convinced Paw Patrol was going to be the worst thing I'd ever seen. I heard so many other people complaining about their kids watching this show, but it's not that bad. Is it the best show ever? No. Do I mind sitting down and watching these little dogs save the people in their town and learn lessons along the way? No. It's cute enough, it's not super annoying, but it was a little jarring when I'd come home to see my wife and kid watching this, and I'm like, wait, they have superpowers now? What did I miss? When I was a kid, I was obsessed with a show called Rescue Heroes, which was basically the same idea. It was like cops and firefighters, but this is that with dogs, which makes this the better version of that. And I'm happy that my kid gets to enjoy it. We're gonna throw that an A. It's not the worst thing, but it's not great. You know what? No, that's going down to B, now that I think about it. And Sesame Street's coming up to A. I was too harsh on Sesame Street. Alright, now we got one that I was kind of surprised about, and that is Baby Shark's Big Show. This is another Paw Patrol situation where I thought I was going to absolutely hate this show when we turned it on, but it's honestly kind of cute. The stories are a little boring, but the animation is actually pretty good. And there's even some good voice talent in here, like Patrick Warburton from Emperor's New Groove and Family Guy has a main role in this show.
Hey, put me down! You know heights make me nervous.
And I gotta say, every episode usually has some big song. And I'm not sure who's writing these songs, but they're bangers.
It's for fishing bandits off the hook. Yeah, the house that every fishy built. This is the house that every fishy built. Oh yeah.
It's kind of annoying, but it's not as bad as you would think it would be. So that is going on B tier. All right, Go Diego Go. My kid loves Diego and not Dora. But I'm kind of good with that because I think I prefer Diego too. In case you didn't know, Diego is Dora the Explorer's cousin, and his show is all about him helping save animals. My kid loves animals, and this show is really good at introducing the more exotic ones to kids. Like, my 2-year-old knows what a camel is because of this show. It can get a little annoying with all the call and response stuff that Dora is well known for, but outside of that, I feel like this is a good show for kids, especially if you want them to learn more about some exotic animals. So because of that, that's bumping it out of C and into B. Alright, Handy Manny is kind of a new one for her. She just started watching it this week when I got sick of Bluey and was like, hey, let's try this. This came out right about when I moved on from like Disney Junior to the cooler Disney, like Hannah Montana. So this doesn't really hold a special place in my heart, but so far it seems like an enjoyable show. The animation isn't the best, but I like that it's a show based around building things, without it being terrifying like Bob the Builder. I'm gonna throw that on B as well. There's nothing really special about it, but I don't mind watching it. Alright, next up is another 90s childhood classic, and that is Little Bear. Little Bear is another staple from my own childhood, but man, this is a cute show. It's like a nice, simple watch. It's so easygoing and not overstimulating. My kid could probably fall asleep to some of these episodes, and that's a pretty good bar to set, especially when your kid is an absolute lunatic. It's cute, it's wholesome, it's somewhat nostalgic for me. I don't think it's quite at the tip top, but it's pretty great. We're going to throw that on A tier. All right, next up we have Muppet Babies. And okay, let me start by saying I love the Muppets. I could rewatch the movies over and over again until the end of time. That being said, I am not nearly the demographic for this one. It's cute, but it's kind of annoying at times, I think. Maybe it's just because it's less zany than its live action counterparts, but Muppet Babies does not do it for me. This is going on C tier. It's not terrible, but I would rather not watch it. Alright, this one might be a little controversial depending on how much you have to watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Okay, first off, I don't hate this show, but it gets on my nerves really easily, and I understand these are all shows made for, kids and toddlers, but this is my ranking, so that doesn't matter right now. This isn't the worst thing ever, but it is kind of a slog to get through a single episode with my kid. And that's not to bash the characters either. Like, I'll watch the Goofy movies or Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas any day of the week. Give me some House of Mouse, But I am not big on the Clubhouse. Maybe it's because we've watched it so much, but I wish today's special Mousecatool was the remote so I can change the show. I'd rather not watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. If I hear hot dog one more goddamn time, we're going to throw that one on C. Okay. Disney Junior Nursery Rhymes. If you haven't subjected your kids to watching this, don't. So, this is a collection of songs with animations featuring a bunch of Disney characters. That's cute, right? Yeah, the first time around. But then it's all your kid wants to watch. And I don't know how many times you can watch the same minute-long songs over and over without going insane. But I know it's less times than I was made to watch it. My kid wanted nothing else other than Baby Mickey songs for about a month. I stopped going to Disney Plus for a while even, and now when I'm on it, I scroll past this show faster than lightning. That's going on D. Alright, next up we have Puppy Dog Pals, another Disney show. This is another one that we randomly stumbled across and wish we didn't. It's basically in the same vein as Super Kitty. It's kind of boring, a little basic. It's about two puppies who have an owner who's an inventor, and they go on little adventures using his gadgets. It's alright, but I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it. It's not to the point where I pretend it doesn't exist, but I'd definitely rather not watch it. Alright, and so that does it for all the TV shows. Now we're going to move on to some YouTube series here. Although these next two are kind of in the middle, because I know you can watch them on like Amazon or the Roku channel or something. But we've got Super Simple Songs. So, I mean, sort of in the same realm as the Nursery Rhymes. This is just a collection of songs. But they're pretty high quality, honestly. Like, the production on them is great, both the songs and the videos. They're fun to watch. There's so many of them. You shouldn't, but you could watch these for like hours, or you could spend a whole day watching these. So I'm going to throw that on B for sure, I guess. Okay, and then Blue Bagoo and Friends, it's kind of the same realm. It's just a bunch of collections of songs. The animations are kind of weird on them. They're a little off-putting. Other than that, there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm going to throw that on C. All right, next up we got The Goat. If you're a parent or have friends who are parents, you've probably heard of Miss Rachel. In a sea of cringy kids videos on YouTube, Miss Rachel is a beacon of light. My whole generation owes this woman child support money. This is my kid's third parent. If you haven't seen Miss Rachel, she's a YouTuber who specializes in making videos aimed directly at babies and toddlers, and she knows what she's doing. I'm not sure if she was like a teacher or something before going into this, but if she was my teacher, she would have been my favorite. Her videos are sweet, the songs are fun and catchy, and I really think she does a good job at helping kids learn. Miss Rachel's got to go S tier. All right, next up we have Hey Bear. If you've ever stumbled across the dancing fruit videos on YouTube or TikTok, it was most likely Hey Bear. There's plenty of copycats out there, but no one does it like they do. My kid doesn't really watch these anymore. They're mostly like sensory videos for really little kids. But man, oh man, we watched so much Hey Bear when she was younger. The videos are cute. The music absolutely slaps. And it's just a simple little video of fruit and vegetables dancing. Great songs, great animation. Hey Bear is A tier. A tier. Alright, And then next we were moving on to the movie portion. There's only a couple here. You know, you can only get a toddler to watch an entire movie every once in a while, but there's definitely some here that she loves and she's watched so many times. So my kid has this thing where she likes the second movie a lot better than the first for a lot of films, and that's definitely the case with Monsters University. She liked the first one, but she loves the second one. And I mean, it's a good sequel or prequel, I guess. But I don't think it's quite on par with Monsters Inc., but that could just be because that's the one that I grew up with. It's still a Pixar movie, though, and a really good one at that. You know, this ain't no Cars 2. It's funny, it hits some nostalgic feels for me because of the characters, and it's got a good story and a good cast. So, I mean, it's a Pixar movie, you know, it's fun, it's great. We're gonna go A tier for Monsters. Okay, this one, Bolt, was kind of a weird choice for her. I think she just likes animals, but she really stuck to Bolt. We had to watch this every day for a while. It's better than I remembered it being. Like, I remember when this came out when I was like a teenager and I was like, this is stupid. But it's not that bad. It's got some funny parts in it. It's got some good action scenes, honestly. But, you know, it's okay. Bolt is gonna go on B tier. Okay, and now for the only series where she was kind of on board with both the original and the sequel, and that is Rio. It's a cute movie. I don't have any issues with it. It's got a really good soundtrack, especially Jermaine Clement's song as an evil bird.
I'm a feathery freak with a beak, a bird murderer. You think you're better than me? I never heard of ya.
It's definitely on the same level as Bolt. Oh, I put that in the wrong spot. So I'm going to throw that on B tier. Then honestly, Rio 2, the sequel, is not that bad either. Rio 2, I think, is pretty on par with the original. No real noticeable dip in quality. It's just as good. I think I like the songs in Rio 1 a little better, but that's really the only difference I can think of. So we're going to put that right up there with Rio number 1. All right, yet another sequel where she barely acknowledges the original and just wants to watch the sequel over and over, and that is Sing 2. So Sing 2 was my kid's first real obsession. This was all screen time was for about 6 months there. Nothing but Sing 2. But honestly, I think watching it so many times is the reason I appreciate this movie as much as I do. It's funny, the songs are great, it's got a good plot. I could probably recite this whole movie word for word. This is probably the movie I've watched the most in my life, and I would watch it again. The performances are great, all of the songs. You even have Eric Andre singing Justin Bieber and Aerosmith.
If I was your boyfriend, I'd never let you go.
But it works. This is another case of her liking the first one, but absolutely loving the second one. But this movie deserved it. I think it's better than Bolt and Rio. I'm going to throw this on A tier. And then finally, last up, we have Tangled. If I had to choose a Disney princess movie for her to be into, I'm glad that it's Tangled. This movie is funny, it's entertaining, the songs aren't annoying or anything. Zachary Levi as Flynn Rider is hilarious. And it's got one of my favorite comedians, Paul F. Tompkins, in the best role in the entire movie.
Oh, somebody get me a glass because I just found me a tall drink of water.
Tangled is going to go on B tier as well. And there you have it. That is my list of all of my toddlers' favorite shows, movies, and YouTube series. Let me know, do you agree? Do you disagree? My toddler probably would. I think she'd put all of this on S tier. But all right, as always, I'll throw the tier list in the comments section if anyone else wants to play along and rank my kids' favorite movies. And let me know what you want me to rank next, and I'll hopefully get to it. You know, there's so many things in this world I gotta rank, and I'm gonna get through them all. Thanks for watching.